Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.
This is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Osdell, and Car Con Carne is a Q101 podcast. This is also episode 1000 of Car Con Carne, episode 1000, part 2. So I did a handful of live events in the city, in the suburbs, to create what is now episode 1000. I had live events at Skeleton Key Brewery in Woodridge, Siren Records in McHenry, Liars Club in Chicago, and the Q101 Lounge inside the radio station Q101. The original plan was to put them all together, turn them into some big, massive, mega episode, but that didn't make sense. That would just be too long. You'd never make it to the end. So I broke things up, I moved things around, and pieced them together into 3 discrete parts. And this is part 2. In this episode, you'll hear content from Skeleton Key, Liars Club, and Siren Records, specifically theme song creator Josh Caterer from Liars Club, an interview with returning favorites wht.rbbt.obj that was done at Siren, comedian Mike Stricker, he did a set over at Skeleton Key. Since I was at Liars Club, I sat down with Rosen, the owner of Liars Club. Also from Liars Club, a blistering performance and fun interview with the band Bellhead, and we get to hear a rock and roll story from author Steve Silver. In between those segments, you'll also get to enjoy messages from former podcast guests sharing their episode 1000 greetings. This time around, that list includes Dr. Daryl Wilson of the Boll Weevils, Sincere Engineer, Todd Zuckerman of Styx, Take the Reins, and award-winning journalist and former boss, Charlie Meyerson. Car Con Carne is sponsored by Easy Automation. Are you ready to turn your home into a smart home? Transform your living space with cutting-edge home automation. Experience seamless control over audio, video, lighting, climate, security, and more. It's time to embrace the future of smart living. It's your home. You make the rules. Get a quote by visiting easy-automation.net or call my friend Dan. His number is 630-730-3728, or just go online, easy-automation.net.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Osdell.
To get things started, please welcome Josh Caterer.
This is one of the singles that we recently released. It's also going to be on our upcoming album. We just finished recording a new album. It's going to come out next spring. This is going to be on. It's called Madison.
I know I've been a disappointment to you in like 1,000 ways. Sometimes I don't know why I do things, but baby, I could change if it's not too late. How am I gonna get you back if I never had you to begin with the way I wanted to? You're never gonna want me back if I never told you to begin with how much I want you, Madison. Somehow I took the one and only true love that I have ever known and treated it like less than nothing. Now I'm all alone. to be away. How am I gonna get you back if I never had you to begin with? The way I wanted to. You're never gonna want me back if I never told you to begin with how much I want you, Madison. Baby, I can change if it's not too late. How am I gonna get you back if I never had you to begin with the way I wanted to? You're never gonna want me back if I never told you to begin with how much I want you, Madison. How am I gonna get you back if I never had you to begin with the way I wanted to? You're never gonna want me back if I never told you to begin with how much I want you, Madison. I want you, Madison.
Josh Caterer. How great was that? So here, grab a mic, or if you need to set your guitar down. I did have this great intro planned for you before you started playing, but I realized I was feeding back. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get off the stage. But so what I would have said is, my first guest is best known as the frontman of one of Chicago's greatest bands, the Smoking Popes. He's also an accomplished solo artist, one of my all-time favorite singers, and the #1 most frequent guest on Car Con Carne. No small achievement there.
Is that only because of the theme song? So technically, I'm on every episode.
You are on every episode, but no, you have appeared the most.
Oh, nice.
Daryl Wilson of the Boll Weevils, #2.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Dennis?
Stu Pandov of Lucky Boys Confusion. I crunched numbers. I've got an entire chart tracing 1,000 episodes that I'm going to publish.
Okay, great. Somehow I thought I was in direct competition with Dennis Buckley.
The problem with Dennis is 88 Fingers Louie kind of went away, and there was less reason to have him on. I love him to death, but yeah, he lost his newsworthiness.
Good.
So
well, I'll rub his nose in that fact at every opportunity.
So I'm honored that you're here, Josh. Smoking Popes just wrapped up a whole lot of touring this year, starting in Europe.
Yeah, we did a couple weeks in Europe. Then we came back. Had just a few days off, and then we started this tour with the Get Up Kids that was about 6 weeks of touring with a little break in the middle. And
it seemed like that was wildly successful.
That was very successful. That was a lot. Well, they're celebrating 25th anniversary of their album, Something to Write Home About, which is like a big victory lap for them because like everybody loves that record, and so all the shows were packed full of people that were singing along to every word, and it was cool to see that. And to kind of be part of it. So, and they're just great guys. Like we got to know them a little bit, and they're super fun to be around.
Now, Smoking Popes aren't actively touring all the time, like you were back in, like, say, 1995. So, is it exhausting, like going on the road and doing that whole thing again?
It's tiring, you know. You got to focus on self-care more than we did in the 90s, you know.
Wait, what does that involve? Is that yoga? Is that doing Wordle every day? What is it?
I think it involves not getting blackout drunk every day.
That's a lesson for you kids here at Liars Club, an important lesson at that. You mentioned Born to Quit. You played My Lucky Day. 30th anniversary of that album, which I can scarcely believe, which means I'm not as young as I used to be. No one is. Correct me if I'm wrong. The 30th anniversary reissue happened without your knowledge originally.
There is a version of that album on vinyl out there now. Some little label licensed it from Capitol Universal and did a little run of it.
Ick.
And without our permission or anything. but that's fine. We did a reissue of that album a few years back for the 20th anniversary of it, and we worked with Side One Dummy Records to license it from Capitol Universal, which turned out to be such a pain, and it was so expensive per unit that like nobody made any money off of that. Yeah. It was just sort of a novelty thing, and so this label that did that now, they contacted us after the fact and was like, "Well, you want to buy some of these off of us? For like $20-something a unit," and we're like, no.
What a racket.
We'll just we'll record it. We'll do a Taylor's version of it.
Let's talk about the Taylor's version, because it's awesome. For those who've seen Smoking Popes live, which I have to assume is most people in this room, there's an added jaggedness and rawness to those songs on stage, and that comes through on this live Born to Quit release.
Yeah, it was recorded in a studio, a really nice recording studio down in Bloomington, but all the takes on it are live. Like we didn't go in and fix any of it, so it's like it's warts and all, and there was a studio audience of about 60 people that you could kind of cram into this little recording studio. So it's like kind of halfway between a studio album and a live album, and it felt really good to do. It was a special kind of a energy in the room that night. And I think that comes through on the recording.
It does, and Born to Quit for so many of us was our entry point to Smoking Popes. That's when you started to blow up. So hearing those songs still evokes a certain sense of nostalgia, and it puts us all back in a certain point in time.
Yeah, and this being a Q101 podcast, I think I should point out that Q101 back at that time played an essential role in making that album as successful as it was, because Q101 just like started playing Need You Around. Yeah. That was another thing we didn't know about until after it happened. Like somebody called us up and was like, "Guys, I just heard you on Q101." We're like, "Really? What song?" "Need You Around." "Really? Need You Around?"
And let's be clear, the album after that, we've talked at length about Destination Failure. I still can't believe that isn't one of the most famous, most successful albums of all time. Thank you. I know You Love Me. Q101 played that back in the day.
They did, yeah.
That should have been a smash hit.
Well, we were striving to make a cult classic album, and we hit that mark there.
It's your rock and roll high school.
Exactly.
All right, so going back to Born to Quit, the live album is available. That's cool, and that's a fun look back. There's been a slow drip of singles, and you said it. You actually answered every interview question I had on stage. You're like, Born to Quit, we did the live album of that, got a new album on the way, but that's good. That makes my job easier. Slow drip of singles, Golden Moment.
Golden Moment is the latest one. There will be one or two more singles dripping out there before the full album drops in, I think, March is what we're shooting for.
I love it. And then, of course, you played Madison.
Played Madison.
Which sounded great.
Thank you.
And, Don't You Want Me make the album?
No, that's going to be a special single. I could see that being like on 45 vinyl at some point with a special little sleeve, like a collector's item type of a thing.
And so Deanna from Sincere Engineer duets with Josh on that version of the Human League song. Can we agree, especially thinking about the Born to Quit session, is Deanna the MVP of the Chicago music scene?
She is, and she's like not only got a super cool voice and her band is great, but she's like the nicest person in the world. She's just a sweetheart to be around.
It's that Midwesternness.
Mm-hmm. She's always like apologizing for everything. And like she kept thanking us for letting her sing the song with us. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're doing us a favor, but okay, you're welcome.
Well, and of course, I mentioned the Boll Weevils. They put out a new song on that Red Scare compilation, and sure enough, there's Deanna singing harmony and backup on the
everybody wants her to sing on their stuff because she elevates the quality of whatever she's involved in.
So with the new Popes album on the way, what is it? Is the solo Josh Caterer experience on hold?
No. In fact, we're playing at the Hideout in a couple of weeks on the 25th of
You checked
October.
your watch.
Yeah. Like what?
It's looking like November.
Like it says, yeah, why did I look at my watch? I don't know. It has all my dates on there on my watch. We're we're playing. I think that's our only Josh Caterer trio solo gig for the year. So we're not very active, but we're not done. That's something that can kind of fill in some of the cracks in between Pope's tours.
I love it. Well, looking forward to the new album. Thank you for opening things up. Thank you for being my most frequent guest on Car Con Carne.
It is my honor and privilege to be involved in this wonderful podcast.
One more time for Josh Caterer.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Darrell Wilson from the Boll Weevils, and I'm here to congratulate JVO on 1,000 episodes of Car Con Carne. 10,000 more, please. 11,000 more. 50,000 more. 100,000 more episodes, please. One of the greatest podcasts to ever exist on this planet. JVO, congratulations. We love you, man. I love you. Peace.
And I wanted to take time to talk to the immortal, the legendary Herb Rosen, owner of Liars Club.
I hate LED lights, by the way. I prefer the old cans.
Does Herb look okay? I mean, I think the lighting's perfectly great, isn't it?
What's that?
I think the lighting looks good.
Oh, no, I'm just looking at them. I hate the little dot.
Well, don't look at the lights. Don't go to the light.
We need smoke, too. We need a smoke machine.
I was worried. I'm playing songs in between the interviews and the performances. I was playing Hall & Oates. I didn't know if that was verboten here at Liars Club. Was I pushing it?
Verboten is verboten. But no, I was just telling JVO about my Oates experience.
You have an Oates experience.
Well, first of all, he's about this tall, and he's got that Hollywood. He still had the stash when I saw him, and he had a tan, and his facelift is like stretched. Like he's got whiskers like on the back of his neck, probably.
It looks like a Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, it really was. But I went. A friend of mine is a fly fishing guide in Aspen, and I was in Aspen, and everywhere I went for like 2 days, he was there every single fucking time. Anyway, there's my Oates story.
That's a great story. I saw Daryl Hall at Ravinia. Really? This fall.
Perform, or he was hanging?
No,
he was working one of the wine things.
Let's start there. I don't get the Ravinia. I mean, I get Ravinia, but
dude,
if you're a music fan, that's the worst place to see
exactly.
music.
Unless you like are right up front. I got hooked up for Tom Jones there, a few years back, and we were right up front, and that was fucking cool.
But even still, like the volume
the
is
wine
like
and cheese, like the prosciutto contest in the lawn. It's like
it's competitive picnicking. That's exactly what it is. But even if you're right in front, the volume's like 70%.
Who's like trophy wives' boob job is better, and who has the fanciest prosciutto? It's like fucking.
Yeah, I like bringing out the candelabra and the fancy charcuterie boards. Like, fuck off! I just want to see. Yeah. I saw the Violent Femmes there, and it was the most antiseptic. Like,
it has nothing to do with music.
See, and that's one of the many reasons why I wanted to do episode 1000 here at Liars Club. There's an element of danger and seediness. More importantly, this is rock and roll. This club, this room.
It is daytime, but yeah, we're there.
Look, it's dark. I've already seen bad decisions being made amongst the crowd. It's functioning as advertised.
I made a lot of bad decisions last night.
So this episode 1000, will come out end of October. Can you look ahead? What's coming up at Liars Club from November forward?
What is coming up? We've got, for Halloween, we have to do, normally Kiss Karaoke is the Wednesday before, the week before Halloween, but this year we're doing it on Devil's Night. So October 30th, Kiss Karaoke, and this will be the 30th edition of Kiss Karaoke. And I still, to this day, have not set myself on fire, which is amazing. The only time I ever set myself on fire was I was stone cold sober. It was the first sip. It was on a rooftop in Madison, Wisconsin, when Wes and I went to school there. And it was the first sip of Everclear. Totally sober. Blew it, came back, set my neck on fire, set my hand on fire. But I've never done it drunk. And so this will be the 30th edition. The first year we did it, before you could get karaoke machines and whatnot readily or on your computer, it was John San Juan on a fucking organ that we found in the basement, and he wore a Phantom of the Opera mask, and and the words were just printed on Xerox fucking shit. It was great.
Is Destroyer the best Kiss album?
Dress to Kill. Yeah. Hands down. Yeah, hands down. And just to clear, misnomers up, whatever, like, Herb's the biggest Kiss fan in the world, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and here's how I sum it up. every time Gene Simmons opens his mouth, he steals a little more of my childhood. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, to be fair, there's Kiss shit everywhere at your club.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, everywhere. Let's talk a little bit about that band you joined in the past couple of years, that legendary, iconic Chicago band, Peg Boy.
Yeah, they were the. I can't believe they had me. Well, Larry, as you know, we had a West Coast tour scheduled, and we were on our way.
Like literally in the van.
We had rented like a Sprinter type van. Larry and Joe built a fucking loft, and we had all the gear that we were on our way. It was Minneapolis, then we were cutting across and all the way down the West Coast. We're in the van. Larry's phone is hooked up to his GPS is hooked up to the fucking stereo.
The Bluetooth, yeah.
So the phone rings, and John's like, "What the fuck?" And he's to turn this, and Larry's like, No, that could be the cardiologist. He's like, "Call back." So we call him back. So now we've got the cardiologist on 6 fucking speakers going like, "Well, you've got 50 to 70% blockage in multiple sites in your heart." And he goes, "But you'll probably be okay if you don't exert yourself." So we were like, okay, let's turn around. Of course, Johnny was so fucking happy, he practically spun around on that thing. He's like, "I told you guys." But anyway, so Larry had to have, he had quadruple bypass open heart surgery.
That's serious shit.
Oh, yeah, they cut your fucking rib cage open, and but he's doing really well. He's staying out at his sister's for a month or so. But I just talked to him the other day, and he's bored to tears, but he's healing up, and he's got, physical therapy shit. Well,
I mean, it sounds like the doctor's call couldn't have come at a better time. Like, God.
Well, and they said when they actually got in there, whatever the Widowmaker one is or whatever, they're like, if you would have had a heart attack, it wasn't like CPR and go to the hospital, get a stent, like you would have been fucking dead. So I guess we did make the right choice. I'm still a selfish little baby and bummed out about it.
Well, Larry will heal, and we, of course, wish him speedy recovery. And
absolutely.
Netflix will only take you so far when you're convalescing.
They're going to reschedule it. Well, hopefully, I think the Stearns are going to let us do fucking punk rock bowling, and then we're going to reschedule those West Coast dates around that in the spring, whenever that is, Memorial Day or whatever.
It'll be worth the wait. I'm glad Larry's on the mend, and I'm glad he's alive.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
All right, and I love this place. I love coming here. Thank you for letting us
host.
We
love you, brother. Thanks so much.
The episode 1000.
And I always say, I'm not a podcast person. I don't particularly like this shit, but you. Well, no, but you are fucking really good at it. Like I've been on the show 100 times, and I always have a good time, and you always make it cool. Because a lot of times it's just like, but yeah, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Herb Rosen, Liars Club.
Hey, what's up? This is Deanna from Sincere Engineer, and I just wanted to say congrats to James and Car Con Carne on the 1000th episode. I had the honor of being on a few over the years, and thanks for all that you do, James. And here's to 1,000 more.
This next band, they are bluesy, smoky, sexy, and raw. Perfect for a Sunday afternoon. Please welcome White Rabbit Object.
Now, is this like when we're in the car where I can't look at you?
No, you can look at me. Just stand by.
Okay. Because I know that always gives me anxiety when I'm like, I want to look at you. It's natural to just look at you, but then...
The reason why she's saying this is not because I have a hang-up. It's because the microphones, the microphones I use are one directional, and if she moves her head, I lose her voice. That's what. Okay, I don't want people to think I have some kind of weird neuroses. Like, don't look at the host.
I'm not going to look at you. I'm just kidding.
Nice job, and I just want to quote, because we're here on a Sunday. Sleepy, sunny Sunday mornings taste sweet like corruption. Storm clouds laugh at our escape.
Amen.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
So White Rabbit Object, your EPs use the NATO alphabet expressions for White Rabbit Object, the most recent being Romeo Bravo Bravo Tango, Oscar Bravo Juliet being the next one.
Yes, you got it.
You make me want to call myself Juliet Victor Oscar.
I think you should be Juliet Victor Oscar. I support this.
Yes, you're my muse. That's what I'm going to run with from now on.
That's what I just want to make you proud.
So the NATO alphabet, unique approach. No one else has done it. What led to that creative decision?
That's probably my fault more than anything else.
Your fault, Frank?
I like the whole idea of trying to emphasize the whole code structure of the band, and we're trying to. I've been embedding little secret codes into things for a while now. At some point, somebody will catch on to it, And but it's really more that than anything else. I have fun with it. I've got these ideas in my head that someday there would be a White Rabbit object, like a decoder ring, like doing the whole thing. So it's just something that I've always been interested in, like the whole idea of like secret codes and things being embedded, and it's really carrying on from that more than anything else.
White Rabbit Object, you dip your toes into so many different sounds. It feels like a record store is the appropriate place for you to stay.
Totally.
Or to perform today.
Absolutely. Yeah, not a question. I think that one thing that we strive for as a group is to not necessarily pigeonhole ourselves into one specific thing. And I don't think that's because we don't necessarily identify with one specific thing, but it's because all of us that are in this group have such different influences, and that really comes through in all of the songwriting that we do. So, I mean, you kind of get a little bit of that jazz and blues sort of feel, but also the alt rock at the front. And yeah, we like to be a sort of culmination of random shit.
And you'll let Mike and AC know that we welcome their participation. There just aren't enough microphones.
Eh.
Yeah, okay, right there. White Rabbit Object, again, I talked about the latest release. They're playing Color Club in Logan Square on the 27th of October. Rocktober, if you prefer.
Rocktober.
Also, you just released a video for Unlucky 13.
Well, it's not released yet.
You're about to release a video for Unlucky 13 on the 25th?
You've seen something.
You got it.
I've seen something. This was shot in a bowling alley.
Yes, it was.
See, I thought I was cool. I've got a record store guy, so I could do an in-store. You've got a bowling alley guy.
We got a guy.
That's fantastic.
We got a bowling guy.
I've seen the video. You are performing. You're dancing. Generally having a good time at a bowling alley.
Yes.
Dancing around a bowling alley in heels, no less.
In heels. And actually bowling.
And actually bowling.
3 strikes.
This song's been in your repertoire for a while.
It was the song that started it all. It was the song that I broke the rule with when I came. So Frank and I said we were never going to play music together, which we've told you. Mm-hmm. And he was writing Unlucky 13 when I came in and told him he was playing the bass line wrong. And this was the song that started it all. So we thought, instead of the little garage band mock-up that we did of the song, that we needed to actually give it legs. And we went in the studio a few months back, recorded it, and now it's getting its own bowling alley music video. It's going to be a lot of fun.
White Rabbit Object, mention the show. Anything else we should talk about before?
We're coming out with more music sooner than later. Definitely watch the video. We've got some merch here today if you like us, to support us. We're incredibly grateful to be here. And just thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for letting us into your lives on this Sunday morning.
White Rabbit Object, everybody.
And thank you, James Van Osel, for always including us in these and having us out a couple of times. It's been awesome. We love it.
James Van Ostel, Todd Zuckerman here on the road with Styx at the Honda Center in Anaheim. And I want to wish you, my dear old high school pal, congratulations on 1,000 episodes. That's no small feat. That's to be celebrated. And here's to several thousands more. And I hope that you'll have me back, because I'd love to have some hot dogs, Italian beef, or Lumalnati's or something like that. So call me, will you?
He's a very funny guy. I'm going to hand him my microphone. Please welcome Mike Stricker.
I'm so excited to be here tonight. My name is Mike Stricker. I walked into a State Farm the other day, and I asked them if I could borrow some sugar, and they said they didn't have any. So I said, like a good neighbor, my ass! And I left. No, that is the whole joke. Oh, okay, I left, but not before they convinced me to sign up for both car and homeowners insurance. They got me for both, which is ridiculous because I ride a bike and live in my mom's attic. Those people are con artists. Yeah. No, it's not funny, you guys, okay? I don't live in the basement with the losers, okay? I live in the top floors. We call it my mom's house, the penthouse suite. So, yeah. Ladies. I had to drive through downtown Downers Grove on my way here today. I saw 4 jaywalkers. And I know it was exactly 4 because that's how many dents I have on the front of my car right now. So I'm assuming that's what happened to that table over there. They were actually coming, and now they're not here anymore. So that's great. As I was driving along, though, I saw a bunch of cop cars in front of this building, and I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on in there. Turns out it was just the police station, and that's where they park. We're here to have fun. I got lots of neat ideas, like things I'd like to see happen in the real world. Like, I think it'd be really cool they revamp that TV show Cheaters. You guys ever watched Cheaters before? Yeah. My version of Cheaters, it would just be nonstop footage of Amish people getting caught using electricity. That would be a great TV show. That'd be like so good. Can you imagine like some kid, like Amish kid's dad comes walking around all pissed off like, Jeremiah, is that a Boost Mobile prepaid phone, boy? Like, oh. Like, I don't know what's worse, like the Amish shame of getting caught using electricity or the fact that it's 2024 and someone still has a Boost Mobile prepaid phone. Yeah. It's kind of wild. I'm going to tell one controversial joke. One, we're going to do it quick. We're going to move on. Some of you might get upset, and that's all right. We're going to make it a little uncomfortable. There's a lot of comedians out there who are not white comedians. They say a lot of stereotypical stuff about white people. And a lot of the stuff they're saying is pretty mean. And I heard this one thing recently. I go, no, they've gone too far. And I have to put my foot down. You guys hear they say white people don't like flavor in our food? Have you heard this? Yeah, they say white people like bland, boring food. We don't put seasoning on anything. We don't like herbs and we don't like spices. And I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, we do. It's called ranch, okay? Like that's what we like. I'm from the Midwest. Nothing goes better with cheese curds. People think they're cool because they get their herbs and spices from the Whole Foods market. I get my shit from Hidden Valley, okay? That's way cooler. It's like mysterious. It's hidden in a valley somewhere. Maybe Fox Valley. Nobody knows. I've been working on my wellness this year. 2024 has been a year of wellness for me. Back in June, I completed my first ever 50-mile bike ride, which was pretty exciting for me. Oh, thanks. One of my buddies called me up. He's like, dude, 50 miles. That's pretty good. Do you have any advice you would give to someone doing their first ever 50-mile bike ride? And I was like, look, you could train all you want. You can eat well, but I found the best way to complete a 50-mile bike ride is by using an electric bicycle. That's definitely the best way to do it. Don't laugh too hard, you guys. I still fell off like 4 times. Did you know that you have to look out for potholes and steer and not try to drink a handle of Tito's before you do it? I learned a lot about myself that day. I'm very excited to be here at Skeleton Key Brewing. This is one of my favorite breweries anywhere. This is so cool to be here doing this tonight. I love craft beer. I'm a big fan of craft beer. Some people call me a craft beer nerd. I've been trying to brew my own craft beer at home, and it is not going well. Over the summer, I tried to brew a milkshake IPA by just dumping a bottle of Rolling Rock into a strawberry shake, and that's not how that works. I was like, by definition, a milkshake IPA should bring way more boys to the yard. And they're like, it's better than Coors. Damn right, it's better than Coors. I could teach you, but I'd have to charge. Oh, man. I got one more for you guys. Thank you for inviting a comedian to be a part of this, James. This means the world to me. Thank you so much. Give it up for JVO. I have been listening to you since I was probably 6 or 8 years old. Don't make you feel old, but just I've been listening for a long time. The Q is a special place in my heart. This means the world to me. So thank you again for the opportunity to come do this. This is so surreal to me. I've got a couple of dreams I'm working on through stand-up comedy. One of my dreams is I want to do stand-up comedy in all 50 United States. Earlier in April of this year, I was the only comedian in Illinois to get selected for the Alaska Comedy Festival, and that was my 50th state, so I got that done this year. That's pretty cool. I'm just a kid from Berwyn, and now Berwyn, yeah, I think my mom's got the hots for Svengoolie. Don't tell anybody. My other dream is to be on TV in the next couple years, and if I am on TV, I hope you all turn on your TVs and you go, wow, that's comedian Mike Stricker, and I saw him the first time he ever performed in Woodridge at Skeleton Key Brewing. Yeah. And I can't believe he died in that crystal meth lab explosion. Oh, that's it for me, you guys. I'm Mike Stricker. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, James. It's Courtney from Take the Reins. I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've done for the Chicago music scene, all that you will continue to do. We wish you so much success. Congrats on your 1000th episode. Your passion, your drive, your knowledge of music is unmatched, and we are so grateful to have been a part of it. So from the bottom of our little black hearts, we thank you. Congratulations.
And I'd like to introduce Steve Silver. He is Chicago's legendary lover, fighter, doorman, and raconteur. He is the author of This Might Hurt a Bit. That's him. Steve Silver is like an embedded journalist who's covered the seediest sides of Chicago and rock and roll from within. Steve Silver, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hello? You good? Okay. First of all, just a rule of thumb, if you're a storyteller in this neighborhood, if I had one piece of advice to you, it would be don't fucking follow Ike Riley, who's maybe the greatest storyteller in Chicago. But, here we are. First of all, before I start, you need to know that I usually tell 40-minute stories, and I'm not going to do that today. But before I get into the story that I have for Car Connie, I want to say that over 40 years ago, when I was the door guy at Metro, and I wouldn't let James into Iggy Pop and the Ramones because he was underage, all he's ever done is pay me back with kindness and promotion and support, which is fucking Midwestern fucking Chicago all the way. It's like, fuck you, you can't come in because you're not old enough. Okay, fuck you, I'm just going to be nice to you for the next 40 years. So there's that. So big hand for James, because 1,000 shows is a big fucking deal. Okay, so for those of you who don't really know my history, tour managed a lot of bands, babysat is what I call it. And when James asked me to come up here, I realized in all the stories I don't really have but one that has rock and roll and food, which is what his podcast is all about. So here it is. From 89 to 92, on the road a lot with different bands. And at this time, I'm babysitting a band from England called Killing Joke, which is one of my favorite bands. And I'm the tour manager, and 2 of them are great guys and 2 of them aren't. But the 2 guys that are great I hang out with, and one's Paul Raven, fucking legendary guy. At the time, there are seasons for tours. So back then, when you'd be in an airport or you'd be at a town, you would see another band that was playing the night before, the night after, or maybe the same night. So in this iteration, it's Jesus Jones, who has a huge hit with Right Here, Right Now. Zodiac, Mind Warp, and The Love Reaction, who's got the big hit, Sonic, whatever that was. And us, and Run DMC, which was weird because they're not in that mix, but they were like the nicest guys, and we ran into each other all the time in the airports and stuff. But the side effect of everybody being together and kind of staying in the same hotels and playing the same gigs and going to the same spaces in towns you're into for a day or two is the locals probably don't really care who you are, but they ask you what band you're in. It's kind of nice, right? They know you're a rock star. Except when you ask Paul Raven if you're in Jesus Jones, he's like, you fucking cunt! I'm not fuck those pop stars! So this gets to be a thing where people keep asking. We're actually in an airport once where people walked past Jesus Jones to ask us if we were Jesus Jones, which was really weird and uncomfortable. Nice guys, still friends with most of those guys. Anyway, Alan lives in Chicago still. So we're in London. It's been a 4 or 5 day tear, and Raven and I are super hungover, and there's one Mexican restaurant in London, which is run by an American, which is weird. So we go and we sit, and we're drinking, and we're eating, and we're just kind of getting over the hangover, and the very nice waitress comes over, and Paul thinks like she's going to hit on him or whatever, and she goes, aren't you in Zodiac Mind Warp in The Love Reaction? You're Zodiac Mind Warp, right? And he goes on this tirade that is like, fuck those guys. You know, he wouldn't be anything if he hadn't married his wife because his wife's got all the money. She's like part of royalty. Da, 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 da. And this plate of food comes flying over the restaurant and lands on our table. And Raven's like, who fucking threw that? And we turn around, and it's fucking Zodiac Mind Warp, and they're there eating food, also hungover. So I don't want to say it was a slap fight, but really, if you got a bunch of rock stars fighting, it's kind of a slap fight. So it goes into a slap fight, and we go out, and we're like, me and Raven and Phil, the other roadie, we're like, we fucking got these guys, man. They're a bunch of fucking leather posers, man. And we go through the back door to this fight, and their entire crew is back there, like, waiting for them. And we're like, fuck. And so basically it's like the Beatles when they're running through, but except they were trying to kill us. So, but the ironic part is we're all playing at the Academy in London, so we all have to play nice at the show because we all like have warring dressing rooms. So it gets into this thing where it's a pissing match with Raven and Zodiac, and they don't really look anything alike, but whatever. And the rumor at the time was that Zodiac Mind Warp was all paid for by his wife because she was a 15th Duchess or whatever, and she had all this stuff. So there's a lot of insults rolled back and forth, whatever. A couple months go by, I'm in Chicago. Raven calls me and goes, hey, we're going to Spain. We're going to play some gigs with Jesus Jones. So I think it's Killing Joke, and we're going to play with Jesus Jones. So I get to New York, Raven meets me there, we fly over to England, we go to the rehearsal studio, and it's Jesus Jones and Raven, and I'm like, where's the band? He's like, well, the band's not here yet. I'm like, where's Jazz? Where's Jordy? He's like, yeah, they're not coming. Why would they be here? I'm like, well, who the fuck are we playing with? I go, are you and Jesus Jones now? And he goes, no, man. The bass player in Zodiac Mind Warp couldn't make it, so I'm playing bass in Zodiac Mind Warp. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Let's have a drink. He's like, no, seriously, and you got to be really nice to him because I kind of smoothed it over, and you're on the road with us now. So we go, meet everybody. Hi, really sorry about the fist fight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sorry about talking about your wife and all that. Yeah, whatever. So we go to Spain, go to Brazil. It's nice. It's like 2 weeks of festivals. It's crazy. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever had access to rock and roll cash bags of money and drugs, but sometimes you lose a day or two in there. And I wake up, literally, wake up in this really fluffy bed in the mountains, Switzerland and Italy. It's a recording studio, floor-to-ceiling walls, windows. I'm like, what the fuck? And a butler comes into my room, like knocks, and it's the fucking butler. And I'm like, okay, well, Raven's got us into something. I don't know what this is. Okay, cool. Guy asks what I want, brings me tea and whatever. So we're hanging. I walk out, there's Raven, and it's a recording studio that's like top of the line, and all these rock stars, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. And we walk out, and it's this huge Swiss chalet that Zodiac Mind Warp owns, and it's been a recording studio like fucking Led Zeppelin. Everybody fucking records there because it's state of the art. And we're sitting around, and I'm like, holy fuck, his wife is rich. And we're like, we're drinking tea, and now we're doing some drugs, we're drinking. And I'm like, do we have a show? And he's like, no, this is the end of the tour, man. We got like 3 days. We're just going to be here. You have your personal butler. You have your own room. Anything you want, they'll deliver. Drugs, booze. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. And Zodiac Mind Warp walks up, and I go, all of, 25 years old and know everything in the fucking world. I go, hey, man, that's really fucking nice what your wife set up for you. And he goes, yeah, mate, that's just a fucking rumor. My wife, we've been married for a while, but she doesn't come from money. I'm like, this is all record money? He goes, no. It's my money. My family's rich. He goes, but it's a better fucking story if it's my wife. And he let that be the story for fucking years. Like, rich scuzz rock dude married a rich woman. So that's all I have as far as food and rock and roll go. I will say this, again, 1,000 podcasts is a big fucking deal. 1,000 podcasts where you get rock stars to sit in your car and eat and talk is a big fucking deal, right? I know you don't really want this to be about you, but let's face it is about you. This is a big deal. So the only moral to the story I have for the story I just told you is if you ever get a chance to get in a fist fight with a bunch of fucking hair metal dudes in a Mexican restaurant, you're going to end up in a fucking half castle being treated well. So go ahead and just have some fucking adventures. Thank you.
Hi, ChicagoPublicSquare.com publisher Charlie Meyerson here, or as I'm far better known, Car Con Carne episode 185 guest. In every role I've known, James Van Osdol, DJ at WXRT, WKQX, The Loop, and more, Vice President at our beloved audio news startup Rivet, comic book fan, and of course, Car Con Carne host, he has, for lack of a better phrase, rocked. Which makes all the more awesome his incredible and entirely unjustified modesty. Thank you, James.
And now we continue with Car Con Carne, episode 1000. I would like to introduce you to you. Good night, everybody. I'd like to introduce you to a post-punk band. They're industrial adjacent. They're a duo. There's no guitar, 2 basses, a drum machine, and a darkness that makes us all feel welcome in the abyss. Please welcome Bellhead.
Thank you, guys.
Once was a widow maker,
Fell in love with an undertaker.
though the love was unrequited.
One day to be united.
For a bomb of its own creation,
Tuning back to original station.
put down by what they say.
She disappeared on a wedding day.
Reverse cry, paint on a smile. I haven't been waiting, I've been working for a while. Dead air, pretend to care. Put back the tumor, tell the sleeping dog beware. Bring me the necromancer, the alchemist, the topless dancer. With the bones of a unicorn, you'll never be alone. Bring me the Baba Yaga, sorceress, the ghost armada. Bring me the bones of a unicorn, and you'll never be alone. Death emotions can't resist me. She feels the spirit, yet the spirit doesn't move me. Like good intentions with broken glass, she turned from pale to blue as death came so fast. Bring me the necromancer, the alchemist, the topless dancer. With the bones of a unicorn, you'll never be alone. Bring me the Baba Yaga, sorceress, the ghost armada. Bring me the bones of a unicorn, and you'll never be.
My mother said you shouldn't play with guns, but she never warned that I could have such fun.
Here lies the undertaker,
Intern with the widowmaker.
in life a house divided.
In death reunited.
Here today, a birth tomorrow, a lovely death from a life of such sorrow. Time counts, don't just the tell. Life is an emotion, and death is as well. Come on! Bring me the necromancer, the alchemist, the topless dancer. Bring me the bones of a unicorn, and you'll never be alone. 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 Bring me the necromancer, the alchemist, the topless dancer. With the bones of a unicorn, you'll never be alone. Bring me the Baba Yaga, sorceress, the ghost armada. Bring me the bones of a unicorn, and you'll never be alone. 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 And you'll never be alone.
Thanks, guys.
We're on a 70s talk show.
Nice.
Like a 70s talk show. One more time for Bellhead. How great was that?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This is Ivan and Karen. Ivan, I got to be honest, you scare me when you yell.
It's the Russian in me.
It makes me a little nervous, but that's how you get everything out. So now you're just low-key.
Yeah, and I'm just peachy keen. No problems at all whatsoever.
I admire Bellhead for so many things. The color coding. I love it.
The basses.
You know, watching you play no guitar, people talk all the time about how AI is going to eliminate jobs. I think the bass guitar is going to eliminate the guitar. I mean, who needs it? You guys are good.
No guitars, no drums. No, we're good.
So Bellhead, if you are watching this or listening to this in episode 1000, you can see them in Chicago at Reggie's on November 3rd, along with Vash, Phantasma Negra, and DJ Scary Lady, Sarah.
Absolutely.
And then onward to Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. I mean, it seems like you're always touring. You keep very busy.
Yeah, this year we kind of made the intention that we were touring. Like we put out a really good album last year, Good Intentions, and then the spring of this year we put out a video for it for Bad Taste, which was a lot of fun.
Which you just played?
Yes, which we just played. Yeah, and then we said we're going to tour. Like we're just going to hit the ground running, and so we're doing about 40 dates this year after it's all said and done. And then,
Good for you.
and then Odin Sleep in December. That's the plan.
She will sleep. I'll write the next record.
Right.
And I've got to think it's easier, and I'll ask the same question of Club Drugs after they play, but I've got to think it's easier to tour as two people as opposed to a collection of personalities.
It's nice. You only have one person to worry about for their schedule, right? It's not like, oh man, can we do this? Can we book it? People have to take time off. I message Ivan and I'm like, hey, Wednesday. And then he's like,
Yep.
But we roll in a compact SUV and it's nice. So we just get in the car and go.
Can we talk a little bit about Bellhead merch, which I think, in addition to the live performance, definitely worth seeing a Bellhead show for. Ivan is modeling the latest in Bellhead merch.
Thank you. That is actually another Chicago legend made that design for us. This is from John Bergen. He's done comic books. He's done The Crow.
He's worked on a ton of stuff. Amazing artist. But he did this design for us. And merch is important. I mean, that's the thing. Is like big bands don't tour the way that they used to. You know, economically, it's part of like the small footprint.
Yeah.
We have to be in alignment because if I'm not doing it, Karen has to be doing it, and vice versa. There's no third roommate to blame for where the peanut butter went. It's either one or
Interesting metaphor.
Yeah,
but
well,
effective.
I'm still bitter about that. I mean, it's just there's a lot to do in a band, and if you really want to do it, then it's like you have to do the not fun stuff, all the pedaling uphill, So the merch is important for when we're out on the road to keep us fed, keep the lights on, keep the gas, and the being in alignment, having a hive mind about what we're doing, is the ability to then not have to him and haw about it. Like, yeah, I said no to this show, or yes, I said yes to this, whatever it may be.
I do, as nice as I think you are, I do envision a fair amount of ball busting back and forth between the two of you.
Speaking of our manager, Dave, Karen's wonderful husband, whenever he's mad at us, we are the talent at that point.
So the new EP will be out in spring, 5 new songs?
Yes, yeah.
More than 5. There's 5 new songs, but then there's going to be 2 very special remixes, one by Stabbing Westward and one by Club Drugs.
I love Club Drugs.
So
they're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I also love Stabbing Westward, too. That's awesome. So you're busy, and you mentioned Bad Taste. You were nominated for an award for that?
Yeah, so we did this. The Bad Taste was an awesome experience. We did this really cool video. We used super 8mm film. We used drones. We went to this like wacky location that we don't like to disclose, so we don't incriminate anything. Secrets stay secrets. But then we submitted it to a bunch of places, and we're like, hey, well, you kind of throw a dart and see if it hits a dartboard. So we were nominated for New York Film and Cinematography Awards for Best Director, for LA Film Fest, and then Happenstance Horror Awards. So it's kind of cool. More than like 3 people like our video.
I love, this is an independent band we're talking about, too, which is awesome.
A music video is like when you're filming it, you're making a silent film because the soundtrack's already done, so the director's just yelling at you the whole time. But it is a piece of art, and to get it, to not just, this is just promotion for the song. This is a thing that I want you to see and engage with, and the craft that was put into it. Well, I'm just told, run over there. Oh, wait, we're very close to a military base. The drone may drop out of the sky on you. Just so you know.
You kind of tipped your hand too.
I didn't say which military base.
Fair. Okay, so more to come from Bellhead. Reggie's next month.
Yes.
One more time, Bellhead.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And thank you, JBO.
So some thank yous are in order. So let's start with the venues. Skeleton Key Brewery. Paul and Emily Slayton run that place. Always comfortable, always friendly, and the beers kick ass. I love Skeleton Key. Over at Liars Club, ground zero for rock and roll in Chicago. Thanks to Herb for opening his doors to Car Con Carne to do this event. The team there is great. I love Gary and Scott, everyone there. Such a thrill going to Liars Club for this. The Lindquist family at Siren Records. I've said it before. Siren is an oasis in McHenry County, a wonderful independently owned business. Really cool to do an in-store there. Special thanks to Henry Shearer and Matt Winkleman, whose live show acumen made Skeleton Key run smooth beyond expectations, and they really bolstered my confidence to do 4 total events for this. I want to thank Asim Ali, who is a fellow Niles West graduate. He did sound for the Liars Club event. He was just a great dude, total pro, real pleasure to work with him. I want to thank Zach Spangler, who I've known for years. He's a friend of the show. He's been on this show. He showed up at Liars Club, Skeleton Key, and of course Q101. He shot this stuff. He brought his cameras. He made those events look so good. Thanks always to Zach for all of his digital contributions. Thanks to all the artists, the author, the comedians who gave their time freely and willingly to participate in episode 1000. Thanks also to all my friends who showed up, new and old friends who showed up for the live events. And thanks to you, if you're watching or listening, I can't tell you. Well, I can. I'm doing it right now. I'm very grateful for the fact that you're here, that you listen and watch and support Car Con Carne and enable me to provide this platform that supports the Chicago creative community, culinary community, I guess. Yes, just supports people doing cool shit. Be sure to check out the other 2 parts of episode 1000. They're floating around out there on all the usual places, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc. Thank you for watching and listening.